Motor City is a revenge thriller set in 1977 Detroit. The story follows John Miller, a Vietnam War veteran who's trying to build a normal life with his girlfriend Sophia. However, her violent ex-boyfriend Reynolds uses his money and connections to destroy John's life. After John is framed for a crime he didn't commit and sentenced to 25 years in prison, his entire life is taken away from him. Beneath the violence, the film is about injustice, obsession, loss, and how revenge can become the only thing keeping someone alive. At the beginning, John is finally finishing his probation and trying to move forward with his life. He buys an engagement ring for Sophia, showing that he wants something simple, a future with someone he loves. John has already been through a lot as a Vietnam veteran, but he's trying to leave that part of his life behind. Sophia represents the peaceful future he wants. However, Reynolds still sees Sophia as something that belongs to him. He's jealous of John and refuses to accept that she has moved on. Sophia agrees to marry John, but their happiness doesn't last. Reynolds pays corrupt Detective Savick to plant drugs in John's car. John is arrested just as he's about to begin his new life. The important thing here is that John isn't defeated because he did something wrong. He's defeated because powerful people decided that they can control the truth. Detective Kent notices that something is wrong. He becomes suspicious of Savick and eventually realizes that John was framed. This scene introduces one of the film's biggest ideas. Justice isn't always the same as the law. John is legally punished, but he's innocent. Savick represents a corrupt system where the people who are supposed to protect others can instead destroy them. John receives a 25-year sentence. While he's in prison, Reynolds continues to torment him from the outside. Reynolds buys Sophia a house and gives her an expensive lifestyle, making sure John knows that he has taken his place. Sophia eventually returns to Reynolds, leaving John completely alone. For John, prison also becomes a mental prison. His entire future has been taken away from him. He can't marry Sophia, can't live his life, and can't even properly defend himself. The prison represents the loss of freedom, but it also represents the way John's past has trapped him. He's physically locked away, while Reynolds is free to live the life John wanted. Kent confronts Savick after realizing that John was framed. He also tells Sophia what really happened. This gives Sophia a chance to understand that John was innocent, but Kent never gets the chance to finish what he started. Savick kills him. Kent's death shows just how powerful the corruption around John has become. Anyone who tries to expose the truth becomes a target. Kent represents justice trying to survive inside a corrupt system. His death shows that simply knowing the truth isn't enough. John's former army friends, Youngblood and Singh, decide to help him escape. They torture guards to get a map of the prison and hide the information inside a coded letter. John understands the message and begins preparing for the escape. He creates a makeshift shiv from hard candy, kills a guard, steals his uniform, and prepares to leave. When Youngblood and Singh arrive, the escape becomes extremely violent. Guards are killed, and the prison is left burning as the three men finally get out. The escape is important because John is taking control of his life for the first time since his arrest. The prison was built to keep him powerless, but he refuses to remain there. The fire also represents destruction. John isn't simply escaping prison. He's leaving behind the life he once had and entering a new life built around revenge. John and his friends track down Sophia at Reynolds' house. They find her drugged and under Reynolds' control. Reynolds tries to shoot John, but Sophia moves in front of the bullet and is killed. This is the moment that completely changes John's mission. Before this, he wanted revenge because his life had been stolen from him. Now Sophia is dead, and there's nothing left for him to return to. John is forced to leave her body behind when the police arrive, and he takes the engagement ring with him. Sophia's death represents the final destruction of John's old life. The engagement ring now has a different meaning. It no longer represents the future. It represents the past and everything John has lost. John, Youngblood, and Singh begin preparing for war against Reynolds. They make their own explosives and create improvised shotgun shells loaded with coins. John even prepares one special cartridge for Reynolds, placing Sophia's engagement ring inside it. This is one of the clearest symbols in the film. Something that was supposed to represent love is turned into a weapon. The ring shows how John's feelings have changed. Love and revenge have become connected in his mind. He's no longer fighting to build a future with Sophia. He's fighting because he believes Reynolds must pay for taking that future away. The three former soldiers attack Reynolds' warehouse. They move through the building, killing his men and destroying his operation. Their teamwork shows the bond they developed during war. Youngblood and Singh aren't just helping John because they feel sorry for him. They see him as one of their brothers. But the attack comes at a heavy cost. Youngblood and Singh are killed. The warehouse attack shows how John's revenge is affecting everyone around him. His friends are willing to die for him. But revenge doesn't only hurt the person being punished. It also puts innocent relationships and friendships at risk. Savick attacks John in an elevator using Singh's knife. The fight becomes physical and personal. John eventually survives by shooting Savick in the leg. He then carries Savick's body to the roof and throws it onto a car being used by Reynolds' men. Savick's death is important because he was one of the people responsible for John's imprisonment. John is finally able to punish the man who helped destroy his life. The elevator fight feels like a confrontation between John and the system that betrayed him. Savick used the law to take John's freedom, but now John has completely escaped the system's control. John catches up with Reynolds and fires the homemade shell containing Sophia's ring into his face. The attack doesn't kill Reynolds, but it shows that John's revenge has become deeply personal. The ring that once represented John's love for Sophia is now physically connected to Reynolds' punishment. John jumps onto Reynolds' car, and the two men fight while the car speeds away. Eventually, the car crashes, but Reynolds manages to survive and escape. The ring has now completed its transformation. It began as a symbol of love, became a reminder of loss, and finally became a weapon of revenge. Years pass, and Reynolds grows old and wealthy. He lives alone in an isolated mansion, seemingly untouched by the violence of his past. But John has never forgotten him. John sends Reynolds a scrapbook containing old newspaper articles about everything that happened. It's a reminder that the past has finally caught up with him. Reynolds may have spent decades hiding from what he did, but John spent those same decades remembering it. The scrapbook represents memory. Reynolds tried to build a new life and forget the past, while John remained trapped inside it. John finally enters Reynolds' mansion and holds him at gunpoint. Reynolds claims that he loved Sophia, but John rejects the idea because Reynolds' version of love was based on control and possession. John tells him that he still loves Sophia before shooting Reynolds dead. The line is important because it shows the difference between the two men. John finally gets his revenge, but it doesn't bring Sophia back or restore the years he lost. Reynolds' death gives John justice in his own mind, but it doesn't give him his old life back. Motor City is ultimately a story about what happens when someone loses everything and has nothing left except revenge. John begins the film wanting a quiet life with Sophia, but corruption, violence, and betrayal destroy that future. But the ending shows the cost of revenge. John kills Reynolds, yet he can't get Sophia back, recover his lost years, or undo the deaths of Youngblood and Singh. In the end, John gets what he wanted, but not what he needed. He wanted Reynolds to pay, and Reynolds does. But the film leaves us with the question of whether revenge can really replace the life that was taken from you. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.